investigate individual differences, particularly individual differences in cognition. So the topic is how people think, how people reason, how people process information, and how they differ in these modes of processing. We are looking for the cognitive underpinnings of individual differences, mostly intelligence, creativity, and recently self-control. So the main goal of our research is to know what happens in the human mind if he behaves in the intelligent way or in the creative way, or if he or she behaves in the self-controlling way. We use the classic behavioral approach, behavioral experimental psychology approach. So we use the cognitive tasks, the computerized versions of the cognitive tasks, which people perform in the lab. And a part of that, we apply the standard psychometric measures like intelligence tests or personality questionnaires. And the goal is to relate one to another, to know what are the connections between cognitive functioning and the behavioral functioning measured with these psychometric tools. Well, recently we found that the cognitive training approach is able to improve people's behavior, particularly people's addictive behavior. So we showed that the cognitive training is able to reduce the amount of smoked cigarettes, for instance, or the cognitive training is able to reduce the body mass index in people who are dieting. This research is quite recent and we are just trying to publish it, but I think it's something. It works in a very specific way. Mainly people are supposed to train, particularly to do the cognitive inhibition tasks, like we call it go-no-go procedure. So people are trained to respond if the stimulus is positive, and not to respond, to inhibit the response if the stimulus is negative. For instance, they are trained to respond if the stimulus refers to something healthy, like the carrot or an apple, or not to respond if the stimulus pertains to something unhealthy, like a cake or a chocolate. And this procedure must be repeated by one. It must be repeated, let's say, 2 or 3 or 4 weeks even. And after that we measure the results. And these results are quite promising, although it depends on the individual traits of people who train, meaning that not everybody is susceptible to these procedures to the equal level.